So we're talking a little bit about the housing situation and creating generational wealth for first-time buyers. I think that's a phenomenal opportunity. Um, I don't know. Did you have a couple more things you wanted to say on that?
Well, there's a lot of different policy initiatives that I can suggest. I don't know whether the campaign would take it up or not, but there's so many different things with zonings, density, accessory dwelling units, but also commercial to residential conversions, which is one of my little pet projects I love working on, and tokenization of these projects. There's a tremendous amount of incentives now, especially in some of the larger metropolitan areas, to do this. And so there are many, many ways that we can improve housing access and affordability in this nation, whether it's regulatory or through incentivization of these projects. I think that there's a lot of opportunity that we just need to get our politicians to listen to. And there's no reason not to instill these. Instead, you have some, really bad policy suggestions out there right now, like rent control, things like that, that are very de-incentivizing for any type of opportunities for home growth in building, when landlords don't have the ability to raise rent when the market calls for it. We've also seen it proven again and again by economists that it is, while it is, the intentions are good, the unintended consequences far outweigh it.
Absolutely. I think it's really interesting. We're kind of creating our own ruins right now with the malls, and big box stores are consolidating into warehouses and going business to consumer direct shipping. Um, it'll be really interesting to see how we do even like mall conversions or commercial conversions into smaller units. So,
We've seen malls that have been turned into just gorgeous retirement communities.
oh
There's
wow,
absolutely,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, it's been done multiple times. So we're it's just beyond just office space, but we have a massive glut of office space available right now. San Francisco has a 36% vacancy rate
wow,
of offices right now. You're seeing commercial buildings being sold for pennies on the dollar. And then if you can eliminate the cost of permitting and the time frame, or incentivize different local municipalities in certain tax breaks for being able to produce lower permitting fees, lower permitting times to let these projects occur, we can greatly improve the housing supply.
wow, that's absolutely incredible. Yeah, the retirement community conversions, that's a phenomenal idea. Everything's already ADA compliant. My biggest thing is like, retooling all the plumbing and getting kitchens and everything in there.
Well,
So
and code changes for commercial to residential.
yeah,
That is part of those permitting and getting projects approved. Is not requiring an office building's entire stairwell system to be rebuilt for 1 inch of space.
right.
Working
That's just
with
silly.
developers and
Right,
making these things available.
right. Awesome. So here we are, kind of middle of August. Bitcoin, some of the cryptos are bouncing all around. Um, Blockchain, cryptocurrencies are on everybody's radar. What is the latest news or points that you're seeing going on with that?
I, you're right; they're all over the place right now, and I do believe that the politics are driving them. The different regulations that are being up in the air. The Bitcoin conference did help raise the prices a little bit, but what you're seeing is some of the lesser coins that are evolving, coming out more right now, like Ripple, that had been pretty on the low end. There are different applications coming out that's causing that to really go up. You're seeing some outpace the other. Solana is another one of them that's beginning to outpace. And you have to look at the cryptos as to what's being written on those blockchains. What companies are in using that blockchain technology, and how that's going to go. Of course, always the gas fees for transactions like that, their volume they're able to handle always affect the prices of it. But yeah, I'm one of these people that tends to stick to those top 8 to 12
Yeah.
primary coins. I'm not that speculative.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. I mean, there were a lot of altcoins that came out, during COVID, and most of them kind of dropped to zero. But it seems
Yeah.
like the top coins, the longer it goes, the more secure they are, the more value they have. Um, and it seems to me, I read a book about it. It's harder to catch up with those with the security because of how the blockchain works. Is that right?
Exactly. Well, and the last big crash we had of the crypto market was really, you had that glut of, the only way to say it, they're called shit coins. They are the worthless coins that were kind of meme coins that were just pump and dump type schemes, and you saw many of them get flushed out. And so
Yeah.
I'm glad that that happened. It kind of reminded me of the internet bust, of the late '90s, early 2000s. That you had to, you needed a good clean out every once in a while to make sure that the investments are going into the right places.
So I'm really glad you mentioned Ripple because correct me if I'm wrong, but is that a XRP?
It is Ripple's XRP. There is belief that BRICS, the new, the Asian and Eastern countries' currency that they're working on, is going to run on XRP,
And
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 that's going to
yeah,
add.
what is that supporting?
It's a new gold-backed currency. Russia, China, India are all looking at joining a new currency system called BRICS, BRICS, and they're looking towards Ripple as a cryptocurrency for them. And so that's why you're seeing it, and that's still in speculation, but it seems to be, being highly considered because the price of XRP has been steadily rising here lately.
And I think with XRP, there was some news within the last week or so, probably having to do with what you just said. Um, but they were waiting on some regulation for it to go through.
Yeah,
What's the
that's a
status?
big win for XRP. And this is all, ties back into politics, is the regulation and adoption of cryptocurrency in the U.S. And most people don't realize this, is the U.S. is one of the last countries adopting crypto and putting regulations into place for it. There are many other countries where it is much more commonplace to be used. In fact, the first blockchain transaction on the purchase of a home was in 2017, and that was in Ukraine.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
do you think why do you think we're late to adopt? I mean, I
Uh,
think I know the answer, but
well, you're no, well, you're seeing cryptocurrency used more in the countries that have the most unrest and the less amount of trust in their banking systems, and so many people are turning to cryptocurrency as a more trusted, stable currency as a means of exchange rather than depending on the currency of that government. And so, honestly, where you see the most unrest is where you see the highest use of cryptocurrency. The U.S. being known to be one of the most stable, banking countries, is the last to adopt it because you're not really seeing as much. Believe it or not, not what what you may believe or hear in the news is, it actually is a very stable banking country compared to others. So yeah, you definitely see it, but also at the same hand, you've got countries like El Salvador and Argentina that are buying mass amounts of crypto and using it as reserves. You also have Trump candidate RFK Jr. that are talking about buying mass amounts of crypto reserves if either one of them becomes president, and having a much higher adoption of it at this time. And so that's one of the things we have to look at too, and how that can affect the outlook on these markets.
yeah, that's really interesting that you know, the countries that have the most turmoil are turning toward to it because they're putting more faith and stock, if you will, in the ability to get your money in, get your money out, but also the value that it provides in order to sustain, what they need to use it for.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and also think about this too, is our legislature is one of the oldest in the world as far as the average age. We I don't know if you saw the video of candidate Harris last week trying to describe what cloud storage was. and
I didn't
had her
see it.
hands like it's, well, she described it as data floating above your head, as cloud storage. And so we have an older, we have a lot of older generation still in office running our country that are not technologically savvy. And
Yeah.
that is one of the reasons why I'm seeing how many people I can offend on this podcast today. Um, and so because of, and this is what I always say in my crypto classes that I teach is the number one issue we have in crypto adoption is education and understanding of how it works. That is
Yeah.
it, number one. And so, like adopting blockchain technology for keeping title on blockchain, which would almost 100% eliminate title fraud overnight.
Yeah.
You've got hundreds of counties across the U.S. that would all individually have to adopt it because all of our titles are kept at a county level,
Right.
and it's an almost impossible task.
Yeah, and I think we talked about that a little bit on the last one, touched on it just very briefly. But yeah, how are the major companies now adopting it? I mean, it's been a month or so, but you've been watching this now for what, 7, 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what kind of progress have we seen in the last 6 months or so with the adoption of the, crypto and real estate and the systems that are adopting it?
Uh, Not much in the last 6 months. This has been painfully slow. And with the volatility of crypto right now, with all the high interest rates and banking issues we've had, and we've had a lot of mid range banks that have gone out of business because of these stagnant high interest rates. It's been tough for the market. Now, when crypto does start to run, we had a run earlier this year, and every time we see Bitcoin start to hit towards 70, I start getting more calls of people wanting to use it for purchasing a home. And so it's always when I see it start going up on a good run, our calls go up. When it starts going down, the calls go away. And so it's very sensitive to the market as to when people are like, "Hey, I've made a great gain on this. I want to use it to purchase a home." And so many people don't understand that using cryptocurrency to purchase a home, you're not cashing it out. You can sell Walmart stock, you can, sell bonds and buy a house cash. That's a cash purchase. When we're talking about a cryptocurrency purchase of home, we're actually talking about a wallet to wallet transfer that occurs, just like a bank transfer for cash. We're talking about using an escrow company that has a crypto wallet that uses crypto escrow. And so it is much more specialized in that nature, of which the funds are immediately, once they go into the escrow wallet, or converted into a USD stablecoin to prevent any type of market fluctuations in the value of what's been transferred in during that holding time.
Now, are you seeing most of those as all crypto transactions? I know we can use crypto funds as an asset to combine with a loan. But
Yep,
have you seen it
that's
combined with any
recent.
lending? Yeah.
Just a couple of years ago when we were starting this, trying to find a lender that would even consider cryptocurrency to be considered an asset that was recordable has been difficult. So yeah, I would say 2 years we've come a huge ways in being able to recognize the assets being held in crypto, whether it's a hot wallet or cold wallet, the type of platform that the money's held on. We're finally seeing this come into play. We've got a couple of companies now that let you leverage your cryptocurrency and get loans against your holdings. And that way you're not having to transfer or cash out your crypto for purchases and having to pay capital gains taxes.
Right.
It's a much better product when you're able to leverage your crypto holdings. And so we're seeing a tremendous amount of opportunity that in the last 2 years that's really grown our market.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I'd like to talk to you a little more about that afterwards. But um, how um, how do you see AI changing the real estate market? Um, I think we've seen a huge boom in the last 18 months.
Uh,
Um, but
it's
you do a
huge.
lot of coaching and helping real estate agents. What are you seeing
Yeah,
out there?
it's amazing. And there's a saying that I love to say is AI will not replace a real estate agent, but a real
Yeah,
estate agent using AI will replace you. And that I think so many agents, they don't understand. It's such a big concept, and there's so many different things you can do to harness AI in your business, and it's almost you don't know where to start. And there is not a conversation that I don't have on AI that I don't learn about a new website, that has it, a new product, a new uh, command I can put into Chat GPT, something new I can do every single time. And agents really need to see it mostly as productivity. This increases your productivity
yeah,
just masterfully, whether it's assistance in writing listing descriptions, whether it is setting instant messaging AI systems up, those contacts, being able to more pinpoint opportunities for listings, things like that. There are so many different tools. And even in the mortgage market, there's mass AI tools coming out for mortgages right now. I've been
amazing.
blown away, all the tools for lenders as well.
Yeah, it also goes to junk in, junk out. Like you can't just solely rely on the AI. And what's interesting is about like combining the websites and combining the tools and understanding how to have the best inputs to get the best result. And so I think that it's a really steep learning curve, and there's new things coming out, and certain websites are doing really well, and then you see three of them, and they're all very similar, and each one has its kind of own benefits.
Yeah, there's definitely different ones, and there's constantly ones emerging right now and coming along further than others. I expect there to be a tremendous amounts of like mergers, acquisitions as the development comes along. We've had a couple of primary AIs that I believe are going to stick around and continue to grow. One of them, it really like for agents that are trying to get listings, you have your basic farming software that many title companies or agents can subscribe to, that helps to pinpoint zip codes and addresses of houses, how long they've been in the house, what the cost of the house was, things like that. Your basic county records search.
Right,
We have new AI now that when you are farming, you're getting their cell phone numbers, their email addresses, their social media accounts, their likelihood to sell in the next 6 to 12 months,
right.
based on different filings or billings to their home, things like that. It is amazing how much more productive you can be with where you put your marketing money when you're able to filter so finely like that. And then for those that are really trying to get new clients out there and they're harnessing your instant message systems and chat bots, there are companies now that are fine tuned to the real estate market that can hold these almost human like conversations and that can help pre-qualify potential clients so much more fast, so much more quickly than prior before. And you're able to really, once again, it's all about increasing productivity and maximizing your return on investment.
Yeah, that's great advice. It's all about the baby steps. You can't eat an elephant all in one bite. You got to take little bites and continue to learn and do the education classes. I know we have a lot of continuing education, renewals for licenses. Um, some of them are elective, and we tend to um, kind of steer into what we already kind of know, but it might be a good point to expand your horizons and get some exposure to some new topics and just take it, one step at a time.
Yeah, I tell all my students for AI that the best thing they can do is go to OpenAI, get a Chat GPT profile, and just start putting different requests into it to see what you get back. Write a blog post for this address. Talk about why you should live in this neighborhood, things like that, and really start expanding on that. And it's been amazing. I started with ChatGPT, of course, writing a listing description for this. And of course, there's no real estate FHA guidelines or anything fair housing written into ChatGPT. So you have to be real careful with that. And there are companies that have done that now. But just learning that to going to write me a 20 slide presentation outline on the latest developments in crypto, and within 30 seconds you've got a slideshow presentation outlined, ready to go. It's just, amazing. Then you have other AI that creates slides for you. It's just been amazing because I do have the Chat GPT 4, which is the upgraded version that does imagery,
Yep.
things like that. So when I have a crypto class, I have Chat GPT create the graphic for it every time. It's a great example of what our AI is capable of doing now.
I mean, there are even websites out there now. I was playing around with one about like literally creating videos and content in your person as a video, and that's a little scary. I'm playing around
That's a
with it a
little
little bit, but
terrifying. I've seen a lot of those on X that are completely AI generated. You cannot tell the difference, and it blows my mind.
did you see the video of Rich with the gold medals?
Yes.
I I freaking asked him, I'm like, you delivered that perfectly. Was that real? Like, what's going on? He's like, that was totally real. I
That's
I was in
awesome.
a room, the camera was on, they
Uh,
put the medals on me, and I didn't have any time to think. I'm like, you did
that was
great, man. It
natural.
was so good, it's so natural. I thought it was fake.
Yeah, I was teasing him about it earlier, right before our call here.
Yeah. Um, so Well, I really appreciate your time. Hopefully, I can see you again soon. Let me know when I can help out with another office meeting. I know the topics and the agents have all been pretty centralized around one topic lately, and
Yep.
and hopefully that'll die down. It also sounds like, I saw your post this morning. It was just the beginning.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I keep telling people. All these changes in our industry right now, this is just starting. This
yeah,
we're far from. A lot of people think, oh, here's the settlement. It's over now. Nope. It's the beginning.
yeah.
This is big
So
changes coming.
So stay tuned for some more information. We really appreciate you watching if you're still with us on this. And Shelly, I hope you have a very awesome
Mhm.
Tuesday.
Well, thanks for having me, Sean.
Thanks, Shelly.
Mhm.
Bye.